Top 5 Pokemon for Sun and Moon. Hawaiian hype is real. The only rules for this list are there are no evolutions to existing Pokemon or Mega Evolutions. All artwork for this video is done by my talented friend Jacob Fletcher. This video is entirely based off our creations. Be sure to let me know what Pokemon you want for Sun and Moon down below. Now let's catch them all. Number 5. Hawaii is home to climate and space research observatories due to its pure air, as well as volcanoes which are commonplace pests. To homage to this and please my inner environmentalist, I would base a Pokemon of the merging of this asteroid, space dust, carbon constellations and this volcanic crust material Hawaii lays upon, in a possessed ghost and rock Pokemon, Morntgeist. It's like the Pokemon possessed object trope, but less everyday human invention and more natural. Think Bouldergeist from Super Mario Galaxy, but smaller. Formed from recently cooled volcanic rock possessed by evil spirits, this Pokemon I imagine could have a signature move or two under its sleeve, maybe hurling its ghostly rocks that could crumble on impact for additional damage depending on the size of the rock. Or just crumbling some rock around the battlefield to last stealth rock, or maybe to lower evasiveness, or accuracy like Sand Attack. Furthermore, we are bound to see new typings in Generation 7, and the move spread of Ghost and Rock is tantalizing, especially with potential ground and fire related volcanicity moves in there. Let's face it, if this thing knows Earthquake, it's competitively viable. Maybe even accommodating for a space type if we get a new type. It would certainly tie into Generation 4's space and time themes if we were to get Generation 4 remakes in Generation 7, which I think there will be not, but that's off topic. Morntgeist, number 5. Like Katamari Damacy, but with rocks. Space, carbon, ghostly, volcanic rocks. Okay, that's a mouthful. And at number 4, we've had cotton candy Pokemon and pumpkins among other food Pokemon, though really carrying loose semiotic connections to the source region. But pineapples is probably in the top 10 things you would associate with Hawaii. It's their second most crop after, well, marijuana, and we're not gonna have a marijuana Pokemon. And pineapples are healthier than sugar, so take that, Vanillix. So how do we tastefully translate a pineapple into a Pokemon? Introducing Pinanas, taken from the name pineapple and ananas, which is pineapple in like every other language except English, with emphasis on the pine in its design. No arms, no legs, just flip the pineapple upside down like it's a hula dancer wearing a pineapple spiked dress, and carve a mean face out of the base. This Pokemon would sure have rough skin as its ability, pure grass type, but imagine the seed bombs from this acidic beast. Which brings up a good point. Have you felt your mouth after eating pineapple? Maybe this should be a grass poison type. Yes, it could be the 16th grass poison type, but we haven't had one introduced since Generation 5, which was the last region to be based in America. Grass poison would certainly help further differentiate itself from the other fruit-based Pokemon, Cherubi. But Gen 4 homage with the fruit again, eh? And at number 3, there's been a lot of regular fish Pokemon, but none of them are really competitively viable. All look interesting enough, which is why I suggest that the Hawaiian state fish, the reef triggerfish, as its yellow streaks can indicate inner electricity. Ah, the Pokemon world. A design means there's such a literal meaning for your typing. If you're yellow, you must have some electric moves. Well, mostly. Ninetales would be amazing with electric moves though. The electric water typing hasn't been used since Generation 2 with the NU tier Lantern. All I ask for is for a basic fish Pokemon to be strong for a change. It'd also be interesting to see if the trigger aspect of its name would be used in its moves. Like Octillery and Remoraid. What I'd call this species' Pokemon name is beyond me though, when its Hawaiian name is Humu Humu Humukunu Kuapawa. Humu Hunu Kunu Kuapapa? Humu Humunu for short? Nah, it still sounds like something I'd dip carrot sticks in. And no, that's not a segue into another food Pokemon. I'm sorry about the pronunciation there. Number 2. When you think of fairies, one of the major things you expect them to have is wings. But it surprised me there were no fairy flying Pokemon introduced in Generation 6, rather just giving it to the Togepi line. I would also like to see the beauty of this animal fly more, introducing the Peacock Pokemon. Although they've only been around for 1,640 years on the islands, Hawaii is vividly colourful, and rather than just adding animals that don't have Pokemon yet, why not save them for a later generation and consider choices more contextual to Hawaii? Sorry Australasian animals, maybe when it's Pokemon Koala and Kiwi you'll get your turn. I would love a signature move of the Peacock becoming significantly stronger with an attacker flashing off its wing design, but its evasiveness drops as a result. Maybe call it Wing Vanity or something? That's an awful name. I see this Pokemon I'm calling Peakluck because I literally can't think of a better name, being that Pokemon you know that doesn't need to evolve because it can stand on its own 2 legs. Or wings if they're flying, and although they can't fly far, we're gonna need some flying Pokemon to travel between these islands. The Pokemon at number 1. For many, legendary Pokemon based on Hawaiian gods and goddesses is a given, but there's so many of them. So I spliced together Laka, the goddess of hula, and Pele, the goddess of fire, equating to a long-wanted fire/grass Pokemon. What a way to welcome such a unique typing with legendary status. based on gods nevertheless. The myth is that Pele carried her younger sister under her arm as an egg, so the design is supposed to resemble a cracked egg, with a fraction of the shell being representative of the hand, and inside is the goddess. The design resembles Pele more, as Laka, the goddess of hula, is too humanised. We also gave it a bit of a Hawaiian mongoose look, but with dancing moves, quiver dance, fiery dance, and especially Cresselia's lunar dance for sun and moon, Laka's influence is also prominent. This Pokemon can link with Generation 6 with its themes of both creator and destroyer. She throws molten fountains into the air, governs the great flows of lava, and has been known to reveal herself throughout the island of Hawaii. Roaming legendary, anyone? Depending on your view of volcanoes, they can be a good or bad thing, but the Hawaiian Islands wouldn't exist if it weren't for undersea volcanoes, which might be why such a thing is worshipped. So I see Pele Laka, just merging the names together there, as that legendary to the epic one, the Deoxys, the one you visit at the end of the game, the Mew. Pele's siblings include deities of various types of wind, cloud, rain, ocean, and wave forms. Acknowledge all of them in the moveset, and my word is this Pokemon legendary. Legendary Pokemon after the burnout of Generation 4 and 5 should be made more scarce, more epic, only reserved for the proper legendary. But something as powerful as a Pokemon that's surrounded by molten rock, the material for the reason why the Hawaiian Islands exist, which is why they worship it, sure sounds like the stuff of legends. Thanks for watching my top 5 Pokemon for Sun and Moon. If you have any better name suggestions or wish to expand my ideas or your own, feel free to comment down below. Or check out my last countdown of the top 5 Beatles references in gaming. Or on my collab channel I've got a Pokemon video with the top 5 Pokemon towns and cities. Peace, thank you for watching.